This past week, I had my 6th wedding anniversary. It was very nice. Thank you. Doing the fun stuff of having daily stand-ups, multi-time per week meetings to try and push it forward and putting plans together for this, that, the other thing.
And then I think some upper level C-suite stuff I did. These days, even though we might be out as different divisions because we kind of, stood up a lot of the different areas of the firm, we have a little bit more insight. And so all of our opinions are very valuable when it comes to building out some of these different areas. So I think I settled 9 or 10 cases last week. And now it's just the tail end of those cases in terms of the reductions, the closing statements, conveying things to the clients, getting them paid.
Sort of review process for the milestones and deadlines and things that we have, case by case. And last week was the first week that we had actually rolled out the plan. It was executed pretty well. We put a pretty big dent in a backlog of deadlines and really a dent in upcoming deadlines. Needs to be done on the case in all the different roles of people within the firm that have to carry those things out. Really what it was is merging a whole bunch of different lists and workflows and things that we had out there in our system and bringing it all into one, bringing it all together, just so it's going to streamline the process. Sean, Boygris, Ira have all done great work. The JLAs have done great work to execute the plan that we put in place. So very encouraging on that end. That opened me up to work on something that really I've been working on for the last 5 months. And just this week, I met with David Clark for the Dark Arts. Everyone who's in that workshop was supposed to be there, but only one of us was there.
What I did was spend a bunch of time working on a certain thing that we're working on. I can't tell you about just yet. That will happen sometime around December.
If you want to find out, take a look at our next episode. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to yet another CHG Weekly Recap in which CHG recaps their week. That's right. We got backing tracks for this one, which is pretty cool. If you don't know, we are your Florida personal injury law firm. Not just South Florida, not just Middle Florida, but all of Florida. So if you know somebody who's hurt and you want them to get top-notch service, have them call CHE Injury Law. We'd be happy to help. Now, we're going to start off with what we did this past week so you can get a bird's eye view or first person into what it's like owning a law firm. So I've been feeling left out because I've been going last these last few weeks, and I have the power because I'm talking and I got a microphone. So I'm going to go first. This past week, I had my 6th wedding anniversary. It was very nice. Thank you. Still married and doing well. So we did a Sherlock Holmes escape room exhibit because Claudia's read all the Sherlock Holmes and loves her some detective stories. And it turns out I beat Sherlock Holmes. It's no big deal. So we did that. And then work-wise, I've been working on upping my project management skills and applying it towards one of these projects we got, which is the new client glide path. So we're behind on it and we're trying to catch up. So doing the fun stuff of having daily stand-ups, multi-time per week meetings to try and push it forward and putting plans together for this, that, the other thing. And we're putting a new project plan together for how to get new cases that Dylan, the Rainmaker, is signing up from partner law firms. So I get to exercise my budding project planning skills there. So all really exciting stuff. The demons. You already did this? What are you going to do this week, man?
I'm not sure what's going on today, but it's interesting.
People got some fun.
Yeah, it's interesting.
That's right, baby. Let's go. It's for me for the faint of heart.
This is true.
That's true.
So,
are you going to talk about the camp that you went to?
No, that was you. You just played the flute, right?
No.
So Cam was telling us
it was something about releashing your beast because it's had the opposite effect.
No, Cam was telling us that when he was young, he used to go to band camp because he used to play the flute, and that's all true. I'm not making that up.
I never went to band camp. I did in one concert play the flute.
So anyway,
love the woodwinds.
Yeah, he's very good with that. Like those instruments that he loves so much.
Yep.
And so
Mama plays multiple instruments.
Big fan of the wind instruments.
Yeah, mostly flute. But anyway, so what I did is I spent.
Great start. Here we go. Okay, let's go.
So
I'm not editing any of that shit.
It's all staying in.
So what I did was spend a bunch of time working on a certain thing that we're working on. I can't tell you about just yet. That will happen sometime around December.
If you want to find out, take a look at our next episode. It's going to be great.
Yeah, it won't be in there either, but
you should take a look anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe it will.
Maybe.
You never know.
And then spend some time basically making sure that some of these departments and everything's the way that it needs to be. One of the departments that I've been working on the last couple months is pre-suit with Ale, who's now managing that department. She's doing a great job at it. But I check in every week over week, make sure that stuff is moving in the right direction, that they have all the tools that they need, etc. And the litigation guys are doing some heavy kind of restructuring of a lot of things, so they have a lot of work on their plate. So I basically stepped in and I'm doing a lot of the demand review and stuff like that the lawyers would do. But I know that they have a lot of work now because of the thing that they're doing that should last maybe 2 or 3 weeks. So I'm stepping in for the next 2 or 3 weeks to take that off their plate. So everything continues to move on time and on schedule, and there's no delay. So that's taken a little bit of my time, and I've just been studying a lot of the data analytics course. I'm like basically almost done with it, but I just hit this part that's like super hard. Reminds me of when I was in school for computer science, and it's like it basically went from like being super easy to like now it's like, oh, this is serious now in terms of what the course is covering. But it's very, very good, and I'm excited to finish it, and I'm already implementing a lot of the stuff that I'm learning there to help us as a firm and like analyzing the data we have and visualizing what everything means. And I think we've come a long way over the last like 2-3 weeks, so that's great. Other than that, that's pretty much it. I think I turned into Dylan today with this.
You want to tell us what you had for breakfast today? Or
yeah, no, I'll let Dylan take over.
But you know what he didn't say was that he failed to attend his dark arts session yesterday. Yep. And we here at CHG will never let him live that down because
Shame. It's gonna be like the walk behind surfing.
correct. He always holds us accountable, so we have to make sure that we got to keep him in check. So this past week's actually been a pretty eventful week. I'll save the best for last, and you'll know why. But we had this thing that we're participating in again this year. It's called Trial Lawyer University. It's actually my first time. John and Igor went to vet it, make sure it was legit. They did that, and I signed up for the voir dire section, and then there's another section on storytelling called Dark Arts, and it was really, really great because I think back when Igor and I were in law school, we were pretty steeped in a lot of just like persuasion, storytelling, anchoring, sequencing, primacy, and all these different things by a lot of the juggernauts in the space. And for me, it was really one of the reasons why I wanted to be a trial lawyer to begin with. So it's pretty exciting that we're able to kind of go full circle and get back into that now that we're building like a legit business, you know? So that was cool. As it relates to the more substantive stuff I did, you know, right when I thought I was out, they kind of pulled me back in terms of some of the pre-suit stuff, took care of some demands that had been lagging behind for a good little bit. We got a lot of that stuff resolved. I think I settled like 9 or 10 cases last week. And now it's just like the tail end of those cases in terms of the reductions, the closing statements, conveying things to the clients, getting them paid. And that was it. And then I think some upper level C-suite stuff I did. You know, these days, even though we might be out as different divisions because we kind of, you know, stood up a lot of the different areas of the firm, you know, we have a little bit more insight. And so like all of our opinions are very valuable when it comes to building out some of these different areas. So John and I had a meeting with pre-suit, intake. Who else was in there? I think litigation was you. Yeah. And Cam was in there too. And we were just hashing out some reduction policies and stuff like that. Pardon me, I had a senior moment. And then the last thing, which was probably the most fun.
Cam was in
Cam? Oh no, that's right. No, sorry. So no, that's 100% true. So John and I had a meeting on a reduction policy. Thank you, John. I appreciate that. He's got to hold me accountable.
Hashtag accountability.
Yeah, and then so him and I had a meeting with Dylan Boygers earlier in the day, and then Cam, John, and myself, and Alan, a bunch of other staff had a meeting there for that. And then the last thing, which was certainly the most fun, was John and I went and we had a hockey game this past week. He came to sub because we needed a couple extra players. And,
so they were fully prepared to lose.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because every game that John's ever played in, we've lost, except for this last week. And you know why? Because who saved the day, John?
Well, I mean, somebody had to score first.
Yeah. Well, this is the part that's actually so fucked up. So
you ever give
with a minute and a half left in the game, I score a pretty great goal. I'm not gonna lie, it didn't suck. And John came over and fucking gave me a hug, you know, because I was actually pretty impressed by that. I didn't expect him to show that type of emotion. But I now understand why he did it, and he did it for this sole reason. Because because when the stat keeper came and looked to see who was in that pile of who scored, they thought it was him, not me, because he was covering me with his big fucking bear hug. So when you go and look at the stat line, it shows John Sullivan goal, Dylan 0. So I got no fucking credit for the game time goal. Yeah, 100% with a minute and a half left.
Wow.
But not for nothing, John did play great. He had 2 goals in that game, and he actually scored the game-winning goal in overtime. So that was super fun. I'm trying over here to build up his confidence because I want his ass to wear a GoPro next time we go play, and he's being super soft about it. So we'll see how that goes. We'll see how successful we're going to be at that journey. Hopefully we have some clips of him, moving around the ice next time, because mine certainly won't be as interesting, that's for sure. But how about you, John? What'd you get up to this past week?
Well, I mean, just to dovetail off that, what Dylan didn't emphasize quite enough is that the goal that I scored, one of them happened in overtime, you know, when putting it all on the line, sudden death. So, I mean, anyone can score in regulation with a minute and a half left when the other team already thinks they won the game. But when, you know, tensions run high and everyone's got to put it out there on the line, the cream has to rise to the top.
You're all about that cream rising to the top. up, aren't you?
Yeah. Yeah, but there's only one man that can score the sudden death goal, and you're looking at him.
How do you say the ball on top of the coffee in Spanish, John?
Espumita.
Yeah, espumita.
He loves
There you
some
go.
espumita.
But I don't know what these guys are talking about. It sounds inappropriate. But, I don't speak Spanish, so I don't know.
What's interesting though, he's leaving out is at the end of this game where we end up beating people in the lowest league in our division. There was a guy that came up to John afterwards and said, "Hey, where'd you play? Like, what league are you in?" And John's like, "What are you talking about? I play in like this once." He's like, "You shouldn't be in this league, dude." He's like, "You definitely should." And you know what? It might be fair
He's
because
right.
out of like 8 games, he's only played 3, and he's already beating everybody with
He's
all
the
the
leading
goals.
scorer?
He's the leading scorer with like fucking 12 goals after 3 games. So when you talk about somebody like trying to rise to the top, we should probably be talking about the guy that's been playing in the lowest level league, just beating the shit out of all these guys.
That's hilarious. John's going in there throwing shoulders into some like 5-year-olds.
So great.
Hey, listen, I'm having a lot of fun, though. And it's,
Talking
That's what it's all about. It's like, hey, f- you.
You're
But,
terrible. How long have you been playing? 2 months?
Now, outside of my endeavors with athletic activity, with obviously Cam doesn't know a whole lot about that. Igor, he used to go to the gym years ago. He hasn't been doing that quite as much
I'm
over
gonna
the
step
last.
out when he's done. I'll be back.
But so Igor hasn't been to the gym since, I don't know, George Bush president. But other than that, other than our athletic endeavors here, work-wise, let's bring it back home here.
Are you work?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
from time to time, when I'm not working out.
Shit.
In between his 2 days was at 45.
That's right. Plus his hockey games.
When I'm not working out, I do actually make time for work. You can't have it all. But
Ladies.
over the last week, I mentioned last week that we had rolled out sort of a new sort of review process for the milestones and deadlines and things that we have, case by case. And last week was the first week that we had actually rolled out the plan. It was executed pretty well. We put a pretty big dent in a backlog of deadlines and really a dent in upcoming deadlines. So it was sort of a beta test and it went the way that we hoped it would, probably even a little bit better than we hoped it would. And so that's going to continue. This is the second week we're doing it. Sean, Boygris, Ira have all done great work. The JLAs have done great work to execute the plan that we put in place. So very encouraging on that end. That opened me up to work on something that really I've been working on for the last 5 months. But the deadline is May 31st. So come hell or high waters, it's going to be done by the end of this week. But it's this essentially it's a master trial preparation workflow really for every single case. Once we get a trial order issued, that's going to outline every single step that needs to be done in the case in all the different roles of people within the firm that have to carry those things out. Really what it was is merging a whole bunch of different lists and workflows and things that we had out there in our system and bringing it all into one, bringing it all together, just so it's going to streamline the process. And really what this is going to do is make sure that you know about it and have just decided I don't want to meet that deadline. So, failing that, this is going to be a very, very effective tool for us moving forward. Other than that, we have Trial Lawyers University out in Huntington Beach, California. Dylan touched on this yesterday. And just this week, I met with David Clark for the Dark Arts. Everyone who's in that workshop was supposed to be there, but only one of us was there. Only one of us. There's 2 of us going to the workshop.
I went to part 1.
Yeah. So two of us are going to be doing the second iteration of Dark Arts, but only one of us was there. I'll let you guys figure out who that was. But anyway, it was a great preliminary, meeting.
One
One time. But if Dark Arts 2 is any indication, or is really on any level with Dark Arts 1, I have every expectation that it's going to be awesome. We learned really a hell of a lot, from the first round of it. So I'm excited. We got 4 days of workshops and seminars and lectures coming up there. So that's going to be awesome next week. I imagine our weekly recap will be a hybrid with most of us out in Huntington Beach, and Cam will be here alone in the conference room in Miami, Florida. But we'll make it happen next week. But that's what I've been up to. That's what's coming. And I guess we'll do like a fake cheers with nobody else.
We really gotta start going somewhere. We could like Glass and Vine next time.
Yeah, maybe we'll go to Glass and Vine for the first time. You go there one time. One time.
You know what I do like is Terras. That place is pretty legit. It just opens a little late.
Does it all with the shakes?
Yeah, it has those batidos with those are delicious. Anyway,
Those are creamy.
so they're right down your alley. Let me tell you, maybe we'll do it at Dunks for the next time, so you guys can see John's coffee order. It's really horrifying, and we now know why he needs to do 2 a day, because when he gets coffee, it's really just milk with a little bit of coffee. All right, so I guess
That's it.
Razor LaCroix.
raise a fake.
Yes.
We're gonna go to a bar sometime soon. I promise. We're gonna get this back to. We gotta bring it back to our roots. I'll just go to a bar by myself. for next week. All right, well, listen, that's the meandering end of our episode. Hope you had a good week. See you next time.